just a moment where technology meets poetry, but before that, their recognizable jackets have been seen on royals, entertainers and actors for years now, and the iconic luxury British fashion brand Barbour has officially opened its doors in South Africa. We spoke to Managing Director Steve Buck.
Barbour started 120 years ago in 1894 in an industrial port in the northeast of England called South Shields. And because the business was there, run by the Barbour family at the time, it started up producing practical weather protection clothing. In 1936, Barbour produced a suit to be worn for motorcycling, which was christened the Barbour International suit, and has actually spawned what most people would now call a sub-brand based on motorcycling, the needs of motorcycling and how people perceive it. The next big development for Barbour was in the 1970s when the formula of protection and the natural fabric of waxed cotton was adopted in the British countryside. It was very much adopted by people who lived and worked in the British countryside, but it was also adopted, I think, perhaps the most memorable aspect by people who had homes in the British countryside. That's when it started to be adopted and worn by the royal family. I think most famously Princess Diana wore a Barbour jacket as well, and that brought the brand to a lot of people's attention. The brand is now distributed around the world wherever there's some form of demand for authenticity, quality, the amount of heritage we have. It's never really been a significant strategy of ours to be fashionable as such. We prefer to be ourselves, and if people find that fashionable, then good. If not, then we'll continue to produce fantastic clothing. And if our consumers tell us we're doing something well and they'd like more of it, we tend to do more of it. I think the situation in South Africa was that we were aware of interest in the brand. We were aware of people wanting to be involved in bringing the brand to the country.
All right, from clothing now to the written word, and to end this week, a first for us, I think. I don't think we've ever done poetry on this programme before. Well, the Badilisha Poetry X-Change formed an online platform in 2012. It now features 350 poets from 22 countries in Africa and the African diaspora. Each week, 2 new poets are added to the collection. I'm told it's the largest archive of audio casts by African poets in the world, and houses poet profiles, interviews, as well as a podcast poetry readings in multiple African languages. So here in Johannesburg is Natalia Molabatsi, and in Cape Town you can see her now, Linda Kaoma, the Exchange's project manager. To both of you, a very warm welcome. Natalia, let me start with you, and it's going to be a very rude question. I do apologise. Do people still engage with poetry, or is it becoming something of a marginal form of literature?
They do. We can't say that it's mainstream, and we're not really trying to make it mainstream. All we're doing is trying to share our work. And remember, it's one of the most ancient art forms. The fact that we're here today means that we are pushing it forward and bringing it into new different spaces.
I'm going to talk to you in just a moment about your involvement in this project, but let's go to Cape Town now. Linda, why the need to form this archive?
Africa has had a long history of lack of documentation. So when we first started this project, we really wanted to, we didn't want that to happen to our poets. We really wanted to document our poets for future generations. Also, we wanted a platform where poets can come and be educated about what other poets are doing across the continent and across the diaspora. Also, we wanted to create a global platform where our African poets can shine, because they need the exposure, and they need this exposure to generate sustainable career opportunities.
You talk about the past and a lot of work being lost previously. Is that lost forever, or have you managed to recapture some of the heritage and the history?
We are trying our hardest to recapture that. I think it's one of our greatest challenges because of a lack of documentation. We have to physically travel to these various countries to actually do research, find out who the old poets were, if the family can re-record their work and so forth. So it's quite a challenge, but we are willing to take it up. And so far, I believe we're doing a great job with the 350 poets we have.
One of those poets is Natalia. Why is this initiative important to you?
This initiative has given me an opportunity first to express myself and to share my work with a large number of people.
But you would have been expressing yourself anyway, wouldn't you?
But also to find other poets, from different countries, from different languages.
Now that you're part of this community, do you think you've become better at what you do?
I think so, because I've gotten an opportunity to listen and to interact and to share other people's work, because it's not only about sharing my work that makes me a better poet, but it's also about engaging with other people's work and sharing. When people ask me, where do you find poetry? Where do we find your poetry? Then I can extend a bigger community to a bigger community, because it's not only about your work personally, but it's about being part of a community and sharing in a bigger community.
Logistically and technically, how difficult has this been for you? And perhaps more importantly, now that you've managed to get this going, how do people access it?
In the beginning, it was very difficult, Jeremy, because we didn't have the contact. And being based in Cape Town is also very limiting. We've been doing this since 2012, so we do have a lot of contact, and so when we are able to easily go into a country and do the research and record the poets. We are succeeding. I think we just need to continue with the work that we're doing, continue with our contact and getting more resources. I think because we have, we've established that we have 350 poets, we have an international audience, people are buying into this project. And people can access our website on badilishapoetry.com. We're also on Twitter and we're on Facebook. So we're trying to make this archive as easily accessible as possible.
Natalia, I'm going to give you the last word. I'm told never to give a poet the last word because I don't want you to go on for too long.
I could.
Come on, share something with us.
Hello, traveler, warrior, journey people. Hello. Welcome to these pages. These are the stages on our journey, so hello and goodbye. I will meet you at the corner. I will find you at the fringes. I will see you at the center of our forming. So hello, traveler, warrior, journeyman, troubled. Warrior, journey woman, tired but trying into the limitless sky in pursuit of roots and truth, in pursuit of the other side, in pursuit of that other side. And if any of you, traveler, warrior, journey people, ever get to the other side, tell them that we were made of flesh and blues.
And I will see you on this program again.
I hope so.
Thank you very much indeed. Next week, a special episode as we go behind the scenes and talk to people who make great advertising happen. Until then, goodbye and thank you for watching.